All right, for question 42, it is a question under the topic of optimization. So optimization, we are trying to optimize something. We want to minimize the amount of materials, the amount of material used. So we are building a container with a square base, some kind of height, with vertical side and open top. So let me go ahead and draw a beautiful box with a square base, which will require a little bit of your imagination. And this whole volume would be 50 cubic centimeters. So it says find the dimension of the container, which will minimize the amount used. Now, the amount used, well, we built this box, so that means we are looking at the surface area. Now, as I went over in class, most people suffer from this kind of question because they forgot to draw a graph. And in cases like this, we are not going to provide you with the pair of axes. You need to know that, hey, I need to minimize the amount of materials. So that means my y-axis, the vertical axis, should be your surface area, and your x-axis. Well, let's just say x. Let's just say this is the length of the square base. Now we will have a height, which we don't know what it is. We cannot assume that it is a cube, although it might be, but we cannot assume it's a cube just yet. So we say, what's the surface area equation? Well, let's just say, how about this? Let's just say this is area of x, more formal looking. We have x squared. Since it is an open top, we just need to have x squared, not 2x squared, because we only have the base. And then we have x times h, which is the sides of the box, and we have a total of 4. Now the problem here is that the problem here is this. According to the notation, and the reason why I changed the notation is because of this function notation, a of x. That means the area will depend on x and only x. And the fact that we have a little h right here, it could be somewhat problematic. So we say, yeah, we don't want the h. We cannot have the h. We want x. We want only x. So what do? So we say, well, we have to find some way to substitute the h. And that's why they gave you the volume. Okay. And you can say, oh, the volume would tell you that h is equal to 50 over x squared. And you can substitute. You can substitute, what is it? You can substitute the h with 50 over x squared. That's your area. Okay. All right, and you can simplify a little bit. You can simplify this a little bit and say this is 200 over x. Okay. Now this is going to be this is very likely a calculated question, because you don't have any ability to find out the minimum yet. But I can tell you the graph will likely look like this. So you will use a calculator, find out the minimum, and get the x value, and also get the y value, which is your area. So it says find the dimension. Once you get the x value, which is the length of the square base, then you can find out the h, and then you can have your dimension. This question can also ask you for the total area used, how many centimeters square of materials being used. Then you will need to interpret the y value or the a value here. Okay, a of x. Okay, so it is also possible that there's a type of question which you would have to calculate the cost of the box and how you have to include the price as well. But anyhow, the overall idea is that you will have to write an equation and you will have to find out the minimum if it asks you to minimize. You have to find the maximum if it asks you to maximize something. And you should only have one single variable, not more than one. And if you have more than one variable here, like the h right here, you have to substitute the h away so that you don't have two different variables in the function. Okay, because you don't really do much about two variables until you go to calculus 3. Okay.